welcome to Raising the Standard. Jacoby with you, with Bill Wolverton. Delighted to have you with us today, and delighted that we have lived and survived to another spring and the return of baseball. This is our annual baseball program, which we've been doing probably, with us on the line, and my buddy Jeff Idelson from Grassroots Baseball and former president of the Hall of Fame. How are you, buddy?
I'm doing great. I think you started doing this when Abner Doubleday first came into vogue.
Exactly. I was just going to ask you how long it's going to be. It has been since before DraftKings, and I'm going to open with that subject because I am getting more and more uncomfortable every year and every day with the involvement of the betting services. Now that you're not at the Hall of Fame and you're a private citizen, what's your opinion?
Yeah, it's. I'm not big into the gambling thing, but obviously it's a big part of society. The way it's like, it's now a part of everything. Really, it's crazy the stuff people gamble on, whether it's politics, sports, anything. But anytime you have a chance to have someone affect the outcome of a game by because of greed, and you've seen a couple of ball players now, in Major League Baseball who have been pegged. It definitely makes you uncomfortable, but there's a lot of people who love gambling, and God bless them, but it's not for me. And I think as long as the controls can be in place, you don't want to. The worst thing you can do is lose consumer confidence in a product. And if gambling's involved, like look what happened to Highlight, that was a mess. Then you just got to keep the regulations going and be strong.
Well, since you've left the Hall of Fame and you have been so kind to be a good friend and a guest on this program so many times, since you and Gene Fruth started Grassroots Baseball, you have had the good luck, really the good fortune of working with so many amateur players, both men and women, where you don't have to think about gambling, and all you have to think about is the game and the love of it. Talk a little bit how you guys got into that.
Yeah, it's a great point, Michael. But Gene always loved shooting kids, photographing kids around the world. The camera is her entree, as she says, into so many living rooms and ball fields and everywhere. And we decided, why not take the concept of her first book, Grassroots Baseball, Where Legends Begin, which is basically kids playing baseball all across the globe, and turn that into a not-for-profit to really help grow the game in the most underprivileged areas. And so that was the mission for Grassroots Baseball when we started in 2019. And now, 7 years later, we're proud of the impact we've had, whether it be on kids in underserved community around the globe, whether women is a specific topic, and girls getting the short end of the stick in baseball because of Title IX in Title IX in softball being a like sport. It's just about providing opportunity and providing opportunity and using sports to really help kids elevate their lives. And it's been really, really rewarding.
Well, of course, Gene is one of the preeminent sports photographers, and also, I don't know if it's primarily or not, but one of the great baseball photographers. Putting that together in the books, with which I assume is much of your narrative, along with, I know you've also done a lot of interviews in those books with Hall of Famers themselves. Walk me through. Are there 4 books now or 3?
3 books, yeah. So the first one was Grassroots Baseball, Where Legends Begin, and that was, I think, 15 regions across the globe, from places in the U.S. Like Oakland, where Rickey Henderson grew up, and Texas, where Nolan Ryan cut his teeth, and Alvin, to Japan and Ichiro Suzuki, to Vladimir Guerrero in the Dominican, and Tony Perez in Cuba. That book was about really the global aspect of the game and kids playing in those regions. From there, we morphed into Grassroots Baseball Route 66, and which I know is kind of your speed, and you and I have talked about that, but really taking the mother road and looking at the 8 states that are part of Route 66 and amateur baseball, how that's doing in those areas. So whether it's kids on Native American reservations in Santa Fe, New Mexico, or small, tiny ballparks in Amarillo, Texas, or bigger cities like St. Louis, really showing how baseball and American history grew up together using Route 66 to connect all those great stories. And then from there, we decided to move into girls and women in baseball, a topic that had no, really very little exposure. And that topic was so rich, we decided to make a film in addition to a book called See Her, Be Her. And so we spent 3 years on 3 continents, 7 countries, and put together a documentary, which is streaming on Amazon, called See Her, Be Her, and then a book also called See Her, Be Her, which talks about girls and women's baseball. Billie Jean King was our executive producer. She wrote the foreword. She always wanted to play baseball growing up, never got the chance. And a number of women in the book as well share their stories about playing the game and playing the game in relative obscurity. But from that, Michael, as you know, came the Women's Professional Baseball League, which is going to start this summer. So it had some help, and onward we go.
Well, now I need to brag about my sister since you brought this up. Back in the 70s, the little town I lived in, Scotts Valley, California, my sister was one of only 2 girls playing in the boys' Little League. And so we were all very proud of her.
Absolutely, Bill. I mean, I remember I played Little League in the 70s as well on the East Coast at Boston. And I played in a pretty big league, and we had one girl, and I remember her well. And she was a pitcher, and she could throw hard, and I had fear of facing her because she threw so hard. But you know, the whole point of this is that instead of being moving the needle a little bit, Bill, from as your sister experienced, make sure you see the girl on the team. Did you know there's a girl on the team too? Girls are part of the team, or girls have their own team. Was our motive, and providing those opportunities for girls to get play baseball was our number one goal.
And even though it's not the classic time of gift giving, if you've got someone on your list of birthday coming up that's into baseball, young woman, I gave my daughter Kate the book See Her, Be Her, which she just loved. But they are just such wonderful books, and now it's a trilogy of the love of this game, and those are terrific item to pass along. But before we change subjects, folks are interested in that. How do they find out more about ordering a book?
Yeah, no, I appreciate it, and good for Mother's Day and Father's Day too if you're thinking of your parents. But grassrootsbaseball.org, O-R-G, go right to our website, and Gene signs every copy, and I mail them out, so you know that they're going to get to you in one good piece.
Yeah, absolutely, and I have all the copies, Bill. And we should get one for your sister. It's
okay.
It's just.
We should, Bill. We'll send you one for your sister. We'll talk offline.
I appreciate that. Thank you very much.
So here we're about to open. Actually, my boys are opening against the Giants this coming week, and it's just another year of seeing who can beat the Dodgers, I guess.
I don't follow baseball much, but the short videos that Facebook shows you, they have an algorithm that the things you linger on, they tend to show you more of. Yeah. And judging by that, I really appreciate strong defensive plays in baseball because I'm getting all these videos now from Facebook.
I didn't realize what a fan I was.
Yeah, exactly. I must be watching them because it's showing me more and more of them.
Bill, I have to share a story with you about, Jeff is, one of the great jobs in the world was president of the Hall of Fame.
Sure.
And somehow he upped himself on that to his new job, which is so wonderful, working with grassroots baseball. But he has some of the greatest stories of his trips around the world following the game. And as I remember, you were in Cuba and you saw the Rolling Stones, right?
I did, yeah. So this was back in 2016, I think, when we were trying to improve relations with Cuba as opposed to decimate them. And the president at that time, the 44th president, that being Barack Obama, really was extending that bridge, if you will. So Tampa Bay Rays played the Cuban national team at the Industrialis Stadium, and then as part of that, the Rolling Stones played the first outdoor concert of large scale in the history of the country. And I think there were close to 700,000 people there to see Mick and the boys put on an amazing show.
Well, I said I don't follow a lot of baseball, but I sure know who Willie Mays is, and I'm told you have something to do with the Say Hey Foundation. Am I right?
I do, Bill. Yeah. So I had the distinct pleasure, as Michael knows, of really getting close with all these Hall of Famers over a long period of time, 3 decades, and Willie was a guy that I was pretty close to, and He had really an interesting upbringing in just outside of Birmingham, Alabama, where he was raised by his dad. Didn't have a huge amount of support. His mom left at an early age, but he never forgot his roots and the opportunities that came his way, and how important teachers were, and how grateful he was to get opportunities that allowed him to play Major League Baseball. And so, in his passing a couple of years ago, he made it quite clear that he, within a foundation he started, the Say Hey Foundation, that he wanted to take care of kids going forward and give kids an opportunity to succeed in life. So, foundation got started about 20 years ago, and I was appointed their executive director last fall, the first executive director, and it's truly an honor to be bestowing Willie's wishes now that he's no longer with us. Well,
you are listening to Raising the Standards, Internet's finest hour.
Anywhere.
Indeed. With us on the air, and I'm so delighted to hear from, we haven't chatted in a while, our old buddy, Jeff Idelson. Where is Gene?
Where is Gene? Gene is here on the West Coast.
Okay. But she's not there.
She's somewhere shooting something today, a ball game, but she is home one of the rare times, so she's out here today.
Yeah. All right. So again, folks want to find out more about the book. Give me the website again in terms of ordering.
Yeah, grassrootsbaseball.org. O-R-G, grassrootsbaseball.org.
Okay. What do you got? What do you got on the bucket list? What's next up for you guys?
Well, I'm excited like you are for opening day and the start of the baseball season. I'm in a really, really short term watching the rest of the WBC here and seeing the U.S. Get scared out of their bejesus from Francisco Cervelli and the Italian team. But I am excited for opening day, and my plan is to be a full board Giants fan this year.
Just the opposite, you and I. What about? You got another book in the plans?
We've actually shifted for a spell, and we're doing some hockey right now. So women's hockey. We decided to stay in the women's space. We had so much enjoyment out of the See Her, Beer Her project that we said, why not stay in women's space as opposed to baseball? So for the next year, or the next 2 years, we are concentrated on girls hockey from Frozen Ponds all the way up through PWHL, which is going like gangbusters, the Pro Women's Hockey League. We just got back from Milan, where Gene shot the entire women's hockey tournament at the Olympics. And next weekend we head to the Frozen Four at Penn State for the finals in women's collegiate hockey.
Well, as I said before, opening day for me is God's way of saying you made it again. And I am pleased, and I'm also delighted that I'm making another season by talking to my old buddy. Thank you, Jeff.
Me too, Michael. And with Garrett Cole back in the driver's seat, I think you have a lot to look forward to this year.
We always have something to look forward to, and hopefully your political reference that we'll quit burning bridges and start building them again.
Sounds good. I hope so.
Got a little bit of Terry. By the way, very quickly, I know when you were at the Hall of Fame, when we first met, you had the Fogerty guitar that he had done a center field, which we'll be playing later in the show. Did you know Terry Cashman, who, of course, did the iconic Talkin' Baseball?
Oh, sure. I knew Terry well way back from my Yankee days in the 80s and 90s, and then we honored Terry and that song as part of Hall of Fame weekend. I want to say maybe 2015, whatever the anniversary of the song was. But what a gift to baseball, that song.
It was indeed. Let's hear it right now, and thank you again, my friend.
All right, thank you, Michael. Thank you, Bill.
Nice to meet you.
The Whiz Kids had won it, Bobby Thompson had done it, and Yogi read the comics all the while. Rock and roll was being born, marijuana we would scorn. So down on the corner the national pastime went on trial. We're talking baseball, Klazuski, Campanella, talking baseball. The man and Bobby Fella, the Scooter, the Barber and the Nuke. They knew them all from Boston to Dubuque, especially Willie, Mickey and the Duke. Well, Casey was winning, Hank Aaron was beginning, one Robbie going out, one coming in. Kiner and Midget Goodell, the Thumper and Mel Parnell, and Ike was the only one winning down in Washington. I'm talking baseball, Klazuski, Campanella. I'm talking baseball, the man and Bobby Feller, the Scooter, the Barber, and the Duke. They knew 'em all from Boston to Dubuque, especially Willie, Mickey, and the Duke. Now my old friend, the bachelor, well, he swore he was the Oklahoma Kid, and Cookie played hooky to go and see the Duke. And me, I always loved Willie May. Those were the days. Well, now it's the 80s, and Brett is the greatest, and Bobby Bonds can play for everyone. Rose is at the vet, and Rusty again is a Met, and the great Alexander is pitching again in Washington. I'm talking baseball, like Reggie Quisenberry, talking baseball. Carew and Gaylord Perry, Seaver, Garvey, Schmidt, and Vida Blue. If Cooperstown is calling, it's no fluke. They'll be with Willie, Mickey, and the Duke. Duke. Say hey, say hey, say hey. It was Willie, Mickey, and the Duke.
Yeah, say hey, and that's where Mr. Idelson's doing these days.
I get it.
Say Hey Foundation.
Sure
Willie
enough.
Mays. Willie Mays, what a good guy, an old friend, and so yeah, your sister had something to look forward to. When's her birthday?
January 16th.
Close enough. Did you not get this? Just send her a note.
Okay.
I can't believe that. Again, welcome to Liner Notes, Jacoby, with our buddy Bill Wolverton, as we're just kind of getting into the new feel of the show.
Yeah.
And,
I'll listen on demand now.
Yeah, it is Listen on Demand, and we're speaking of listening on demand. I just wanted to point out I did a program this week that'll be posted, I believe, the next day or so. Which I do Ranchcast, which is something I do with Rancho Cielo, the school. And we did a program, it's called Here's to the Heroes, and it was about first responders. And we had Rick Allen, who was the ex-drummer, or no, not the ex-drummer, he's a drummer for Def Leppard. Lauren Monroe, whom you've spoken with from the Raven Drum Foundation.
I recall.
We had them on. We had Carlos Acosta, who is the chief of police in Salinas. And we had the fire chief on, Samuel Clement. So and a student asked questions, and it was just a great show, and it was very moving. And Rick had lost an arm in the '80s in a car accident, which was really at when Def Leppard was really going strong.
Oh, definitely.
So he obviously had very good buddies, and he stayed with the band. And I was saying to him on the air, a drummer, for heaven's sakes. I mean, that's got to be tough.
No kidding.
I know from a jazz standpoint, Oscar Peterson lost use of one of his arms from a stroke, but he played one-handed. But a drummer, my God. So it's really a remarkable story. It's called Ranchcast. It's available on all your favorite streaming services, as are we.
So all the people you
raising the standards.
They're all good guys. You talk about Ravens Foundation and firefighter, police chief, and the Rancho Cielo people are doing God's work. Don't you know any bad guys?
I don't. Well,
aren't there any scoundrels you hang around with?
Since I fired Christy Nome, I don't have anybody to talk to. She's single-handedly curing the dog overpopulation.
Well, slowly.
Yeah. But anyway, then what else we got going? We're going to be, the show's going to be a little different. It's going to be, I think we're going to kind of end up having, we'll do a little music, and we'll always do weekend liner notes, and we're going to do one strong interview a day, so a week. So we go from there, and as we say, you can't hear us live anymore, but you'll be able to, we post a new show every week on Saturday.
Yeah, right. It's everywhere the podcasts are, pretty much.
Tell you what else is everywhere is baseball is in the air, and the Yankees coming out to play the Giants. And when we were talking to Jeff, we were talking about he knew Fogarty well. And
Yeah.
like they'd made a baseball bat with strings on it. They made it into a guitar. Yeah,
Okay.
and they have it on display at the Hall of Fame in Cooperstown. I'm sure it wasn't the one used on this, but this is the wonderful version of Center Field, the great John Fogerty.
Well, I beat the drum and hold the phone. The sun came out today. We're born again. There's new grass on the field. Around the third and headed for home. It's a brown-eyed, handsome man. Anyone can understand the way I feel. Oh, put me in cold. I'm ready to play today. Put me in cold. I'm ready to play today. Look at me. I can be center field. Well, I spent some time in the Mudfield night, watching it from the bench. You know I took some lumps when the mighty case struck out. So say, hey Willie, tell the cow and Joe DiMaggio, don't say it ain't so. You know the time is now. Oh, put me in cold. I'm ready to play today. Put me in cold. I'm ready to play today. Look at me. I can be center field. Yeah, got it, I got it. Got a beat up glove, a homemade bat, and a brand new pair of shoes. You know I think it's time to give this game a ride. Just to hit the ball and touch 'em all. A moment in the sun. It's gone and you can't tell that one goodbye. Oh, put me in cold. I'm ready to play today. Put me in cold. I'm ready to play today. Look at me. I can be. Oh, put me in cold. I'm ready to play.
John Fogerty in Center Field. That is one of those great baseball songs.
Yep,
I
agreed.
find it amazing. They're relatively recent. Well, that's 20, 30 years, which is relatively recent to me. But those two songs have become so attached to the game. Terry Cashman's Talking Baseball
Yeah.
and that song. It really is amazing.
I didn't think I could list baseball songs, but I do know both of those. of course.
and you know, it's up there with Take Me Out to the Ball Game.
Yeah.
It really is amazing. All right, let's do liner notes. Today, for what I believe to be one of the great jazz albums of the past 50 years, Midnight Sun by the legendary Herb Alpert. Written in 1947 by Lionel Hampton and Sonny Burke, with lyrics by Johnny Mercer, the tune has become a jazz standard. The list of artists who have recorded it is as diverse as the genre itself, from Sarah and Ella to Flora Purim, Coleman Hawkins, June Christie, Al Jarreau, and my friend Bria Schoenberg. Midnight Sun is the very definition of a classic. Your lips are like a ruby red chalice, warmer than the summer night. The clouds were like an alabaster palace, raising to a snowy night. Each star its own aurora borealis. Suddenly you held me tight, and I could see the midnight sun. Albert's album was of the same name, was released in 1992 to commemorate the 30th anniversary of A&M Records. It features a wonderful collection of standards, including cuts by Kern and Hammerstein, George and Ira Gershwin, and even Charlie Chaplin. Personnel include Monty Budwig, Larry Carlton, and Harvey Mason. Midnight Sun, along with the rest of these selections, are quite lovely and well worth hearing. Enjoy. Isn't that pretty?
It is.
You know,
I like Herb Alpert.
Oh, what a wonderful player, and and God bless the Tijuana Brass, but the guy really had chops.
Well, I like that too.
I like it too, but what I'm saying is people kind of get him buttonholed into that,
true.
and he was a fine player. We had him at private event at Jazz in the Plaza in Los Gatos. I don't know, 10, 12 years ago.
Did you really?
Yeah, good guy, very nice man. His wife, charming Lanny Hall, who's a marvelous vocalist on her own. That is Midnight Sun. So we've got some exciting things. I'm working on some stuff as we move forward. Delighted again to add a big thank you to Jeff Idelson. But speaking of sports, maybe early next month with the Masters coming up and all the majors in golf beginning. Roger Maltby is a friend of mine who was with NBC for years, and I think he is with CBS maybe now, or he might be back with NBC, but he was one of the great commentators on the PGA. Talked to him about some of his memories of that. So I'll get that in the future. We're going to probably talk to Rick Allen, the aforementioned Rick Allen from Def Leppard again. We'll be talking to a lot of jazz artists over the summer. So that's all happening. We got an A-train?
Was there ever a time when the golf commentators didn't whisper?
Well, I and they've got headphones now. Like
I know.
The guys, the roving guys, have to whisper.
Sure, they do, but the guys at the table, they do it all the time.
That's true. That's true. Do you really need to do this? Maybe I don't know. Maybe it's done for effect. Anyway, thank you, Bill. Good show, and thanks to Jeff Idelson. And go buy some grassroots books for your family. It is a wonderful, wonderful, as I said, trilogy of terrific sports books about this sport that we all love. A-Train's on its way in. I'm on my way out. As always, this show has been for Mark, for Georgianne, and for you. Until next Saturday, when we once again raise the standards, I'm Jacoby. I'll see you soon.
You should take a train. You get to where you're going in a hurry. Hurry, hurry, hurry. Now it's coming.